Hello and welcome to the Hibs Observer post-match reaction show with myself, Liam Bryce. We've got a guest with us today, Darren Adams, to look back at a 2-0 home win over Dundee here at Easter Road. Goals from Kieran Bowie and Jamie McGrath, making it 4 wins from 6 in the Scottish Premiership for David Gray's side, hanging on to third place in the table as well, heading into Tuesday's game against Motherwell. It's a few days that really kickstarts a busy period for the Hibs. So a good, strong performance here, pretty dominant against a Dundee side, which, to be honest, didn't offer an awful lot going forward. They kind of threw caution to the wind a wee bit towards the end, but I still think Hibs were pretty comfortable in seeing it out. David Gray kept the same team that won 3-0 away at St Mirren before the international break, and they looked pretty on it from the off. I think these games after the international break, they can be a wee bit tricky at times. Guys coming back, maybe carrying knocks, coming back from different time zones. There's a centre half on the pitch for Hibs today would have been coming down off the greatest moment of his career so far. But you wouldn't have known it. Professional performance, as always, from Grant Hanley on a day where Hibs looked very comfortable. And I think in terms of summing it up, Darren, I think comfortable is the key word, really. That I don't think Hibs were ever really in any danger here.
Aye, absolutely. It was something that we joked about during the game. Dundee were hardly going forward at all, and when they were, it wasn't really through any forward passes at all. They were really just breaking the lines through, kind of running with the ball and whatnot. But it was a really fast start for Hibs, and I felt like Dundee really couldn't deal with that, and they couldn't deal with Kieran Bowie, a man who I'm sure was disappointed to lose out on possibly the greatest Scottish national team moment of all time, and will be chomping at the bit to try to get in the plane next year.
Yeah, I'd imagine if he keeps up that kind of form from what we saw today from him, he's going to be in with a decent chance. That was his first goal since September, I believe, for Kieran Bowie when he scored against Dundee United. There's a bit of mentioned this in the post-match analysis, but there's a real pattern developing for Kieran Bowie. He scored 9 Premiership goals for Hibs, and 8 of those have come against teams from the city of Dundee. So both Dundee and Dundee United, he really enjoys scoring against them. That was his third against Dundee this season. He got 2 against them at the back half of last season as well. So it's kind of getting to the stage where it's like he's almost like he's got a personal vendetta against the city of Dundee. I don't know, maybe some sort of formative experience means he doesn't like that part of the world. I don't know. But for Hibs, it's good to see him back on form because he has, aside from not scoring, he's had a couple of games here and there where he's kind of all-round play really kind of wasn't maybe at the level that we saw, certainly during those European qualifiers during the summer when he looked so impressive against the likes of Partizan, Belgrade, Legia Warsaw. So it was good to see him back on form. And what did you make of his performance, Dan? He's kind of, he is a bit of a throwback striker, isn't he? He's got kind of a lot of different attributes, but he enjoys the physical battle as well.
Well, I think the thing that really stood out to me was his link-up play.
Yeah.
His performances back to goal in the way. I mean, you saw it. The perfect example was Jamie McGrath's goal. The way it was almost like, the way Lyndon Dykes set up Kenny McLean in Norway, that's the way it kind of stood out to me. That kind of first touch, that instinct, just to lay it off to him. I thought the whole game he was great in that sense. And also, I think another thing that I would see as a positive rather than a negative is he's came away with a goal and assist for this game, and yet you still think he should have had more. There was a great headed chance he had in the first half that he really probably should have stuck away after a great cross. And then, for me, it was a really impressive performance. And, one that Steve Clark should maybe keep an eye on for the future.
He almost went through the net himself when he missed that header. And it was one of those where, because it's not really been happening for him in front of goal recently, obviously he had that goal disallowed against Livingston a few weeks ago that was unfortunate. You maybe think, is it going to be another one of those days from him? But I think you've hit the nail on the head there in terms of his link-up play. I thought was really good again today, and it has been an area that has maybe been a wee bit inconsistent. And I think we've said that there's plenty of times. I'm pretty sure David Gray said it as well. The age he's at, he's not long to turn 23. He is still a young player, so I think you do expect still a level of inconsistency, ups and downs, peaks and troughs in his form. But I thought today was much more like it from him. Across the team, I feel like we almost single him out every week on this show, but Jamie McGrath has been a really good addition for Hibs. I know you were impressed with him, Darren. I'll come to you back to you for him in a wee minute, but he does offer so much, and I think Hibs are a much better team when he's in and around it. I think the games that he hasn't played this season have almost shown his value as much as the games he has done. In most of those games he has done very well, because you can see the Hibs do feel his absence, and they feel his presence, I suppose, when he's here. Takes his goal really well, as you'd expect, but he's just an intelligent footballer, isn't he? He picks up really good areas, his touches are good, he picks good passes. He's just a kind of an all-round positive, I would have thought.
Yeah, he looked untouchable at times out there. I thought Dundee really struggled to get to grips with him, and it wasn't as if it's hard to kind of analyse his performance in some senses, because although it seems a bit mental saying this, even though because he hit the bar and got a goal, but he doesn't tend to do anything too flashy, but he does things that are really effective on the ball, and I thought a lot of that could be said for the entire centre midfield today. I thought Mulligan and Barlaser also made a good account of themselves, and it shows the strength and depth that Hibs have got now, with Joe Newell coming back from injury as well, and then you see Dylan Levitt, who would be a starter in previous years, coming off the bench as well, and it shows just the options David Gray has at the minute.
Aye, absolutely. I thought the midfield again, we've seen David Gray seems to have kind of not stumbled upon a good balance there, because that would imply that it's been an accident, but he has found a decent formula in the middle of the park. So many options there. I think there's been a degree of chopping and changing earlier on in the season, different combinations, but I think at the moment with Barlaser, Mulligan and McGrath playing maybe slightly more advanced, Mulligan sort of box to box, and then Barlaser sort of sitting there as a number 6. It brings a bit of everything. I thought we've got a comment here from Jerry as well, saying Barlaser played well. I thought he was very good, I think especially in the first half. He was always looking for that switch of play out to Nicky Cadden, which he does very, very well. And he'll calm this. You can tell he's a quality footballer. Mulligan, we're at the point now where you know exactly what you're going to get from him. Lots of energy, lots of carrying the ball, lots of quality. That's a really bad time for the Tannoy announcement to go off. We almost got to the end of the show without that. Sorry, folks, if that interrupted you there. But yeah, as we were saying, nice balance in midfield, and it's only kind of going to get stronger, because as you said, Dylan Levitt coming back. He had his appendix out recently, so he's missed a couple of weeks. Joe Newell was back on the bench. Alisson Amani is still to come back in. Miguel Chaiwa missed the game today after being ill on international duty. So Joe Newell, as Darren mentioned there, he didn't get on the pitch today, but back on the bench, back in the matchday squad for the first time since February. Whenever he does get back in a competitive game, it'll be the first time he's played since December. So I mean, you're kind of getting close to a year. Played in a bounce game against Dunfermline over the international break, got 60 minutes under his belt. I dare say maybe if Hibs had a third goal to their name today, possibly, he might have got some time on the pitch, but the game did get a wee bit disjointed, maybe into the sort of last 15 minutes. Maybe David Gray didn't want to take the chance on that, but I mean, it's a long time for any footballer to be out, so I mean, even I think just for Joe Newell to be just back in and around it in a matchday squad, it's probably a really good feeling for him.
A great reception as well for Hibs fans when he came out to warm up. So
even just to warm up. Yeah. So I mean, I dare say he will be back in amongst it before long. Joe Newell. Hibs off to Motherwell on Tuesday night. Another big game, but as I said, it's 4 wins from 6 now for David Gray's side, and that's since losing the Edinburgh Derby. I know there was a narrow victory here. Narrow defeat here to Rangers in midweek, and a 2-2 draw away at Livingston. And kind of in both of those games there were late penalties. Hibs conceded one away at Livingston to deny them 3 points, and Jamie McGrath had one here saved against Rangers that would have rescued Hibs a point. So I mean, 4 wins from 6 could have been better, but it's I think just in general in the Scottish Premiership, that's us now had the last international break until March. I think for any team, this is about the time you want to start building momentum, really, isn't it?
This is the time you want to have consistency, and the time that you want to really get ahead of steam going, because if you've had a poor start to the season, they can always be rectified now. But if it continues over Christmas and into the new year, and then you get to that next international break, it's like really starts to look bleak. So it's certainly a great run of form from Hibs at the minute.
Yeah, aye. And this is about the time last year that it really kind of started to motor. So hopefully we're about to see more of the same, as I said, heading into a really important run of fixtures that continues away at Motherwell on Tuesday night. But for now, folks, we are going to head downstairs to David Gray's post-match press conference, see what the head coach thinks of today's result and performance. If you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do consider hitting that like and subscribe button. As I always say, it helps us to continue to grow the channel, and we can bring you more match day content and more content during the week as well, so we really do appreciate that. But for now, I'm going to let you go, folks. I'm assuming you all enjoyed that very much, and in turn are going to enjoy your Saturday evening. So we'll be back on Monday for a deeper analysis of today's game and to look ahead to the game against Motherwell, so do join us for that. But until now, as I said, enjoy the rest of your evening and we'll speak to you again soon. Thanks for joining us.